the West has done so many bad things. I mean, the West has indulged in war non-stop throughout its entire existence. So, I'm not going to sort of suddenly offer this unbalanced partisan view of the West as such. Of course not. But it's just that every nation is just drenched in blood, unfortunately, because human beings fight each other for goods and territory. And but my point is that, the West, this is where the democracies are. This is where you can have Pride Month. Mm-hmm. It's where gay men can marry and be respected and treated under the law as a married couple, etc. And therefore, this sort of attack on our values and everything. I mean, you should interrogate our history. Slavery was the single greatest crime against humanity. And we participated in that and made money from it. But of course, we know that every nation and every empire also participated in slavery and everything. So it's not a case, again, of being reactionary and jumping on the other side. The West has multiple and unending, infinite crimes. But this war on the West is so insidious because what you're doing is you're attacking nations that well, I mean, in the end, if it's a democracy, it's better than a dictatorship, isn't it? So why woke progressives focus on the UK and how terrible we are and not China, which segregates its own people, does ethnic cleansing, has no human rights, and millions of its population are living grinding poverty, plus the pollution and everything else, anyway.
Well, that goes back to our point before. I mean, they don't seem to take aim at anybody who actually firstly is deserving of it, but anyone who might fight back. It's fear. So yes, Christianity, easy. The West, easy. But maybe they don't want to criticize China because what might China do?
Why don't woke progressives tweet all the time about Iran and how women are treated there?
It's so bizarre,
and who are murdered for not wearing, covering their heads. And what's happened to the Western feminists on that one?
And why didn't the Olympics then, if they were going to do a kind of, okay, drag is the new way forward or whatever that might mean, why didn't they do some sort of Prophet Muhammad thing? Well,
we know why.
Yeah. So that would have been the actual, if they were rebels. Otherwise, again, look, you're a comedian. What an easy mark that is, Christianity. How boring. What a boring thing to do. Do something that,
Yeah, I mean, you could, what I try to do all the time in my job is I try to look at the other side. Because any argument that's made that doesn't consider the other side is unintellectual and it's misleading. And so therefore you've got to just anticipate and, think, when I talk about Brexit, I mean, I voted Remain, but in my view, Brexit, it's like there's been no disaster.
Yeah.
The UK sort of shrugged it off really. And we're currently sitting at the top of the G7 for economic growth. So, the catastrophe that was predicted didn't happen. So I'm a Remainer, but I just can immediately see that but when I talk about Brexit on my show, I point out that it's had a cultural impact. Young people can't just go and make a new life in Italy or France or something.
Yep.
And plus it's been merry hell for small businesses trying to export goods, So sometimes, you make a mistake if you're so keen to make your argument that you omit the other side in order to win that argument. And I actually would rather weaken my argument with some facts that contradict what I've got to say, because then I think that's where you get the authority, because then it's like, well, actually he's acknowledged the other argument, but here's his view. And I think that's how you win hearts and minds personally. And that's why tribal stuff doesn't work, because it's just sort of you bad, me good. So I try not to participate in that. So with regards to the, going back to the Olympics and stuff, it would be really nice if we could mock all religions. But if we can't mock all religions, we shouldn't mock any.
Yeah.
It's just it's not fair. It's not right. But by the way, if you can't mock all religions, that's a very dark place. And that's why these so-called culture wars are real, is because actually, if you can't mock a religion like Christianity or Islam, well, then that is, by the back door, a blasphemy law. And we don't have blasphemy laws in this country. But now, de facto, in reality, we do. So if people say these are confected culture wars from the right, it's not true. This is a change in our country. It's a change in the values of our country and how we live. If you can't take the mick of a religion, no one voted for that, and that isn't legislation that went through Parliament.
For non-Brits, take the mick means mock, just in case. Yeah. If they don't know, but no,
I'm so down to earth, aren't I? I'm such a cockney.
Do they use that? Let me know in the comments. Do you say take the mickey? But maybe they do take the mickey out of someone. I feel like they might say that.
I think so.